Hi, it's Patrick Hutzel from intensivecarehome.com, and I have another inquiry today that I want to answer here from one of our potential clients. Hi, Patrick. My name is Sabrina, and I'm in desperate need of intensive care at home services. I have a 26-year-old son who had a spinal cord injury recently. It's been 3 months, and we're about ready for discharge home, and I'm not comfortable with him going to a nursing home at 26 years of age. He has a high cervical injury at level C2. He is left with quadriplegia. He has a tracheostomy, a ventilator, and a PEG tube. And I want him to receive care at home. Can intensive care at home help? Thank you so much, Sabrina, for your email. And I'm very sorry to hear about what's happened to your 26-year-old son. Now, the good news is we have looked over the years, and we are looking after a number of clients in the community with C1 or C2 very high spinal injuries that have a ventilator and a tracheostomy. So this is actually bread and butter for us. Now, your fear that your son might end up in a nursing home, I do believe, is to a degree not justified. And the reason I'm saying that, the nursing home cannot look after what is technically an intensive care patient, right? In order to look after your son's ventilator, tracheostomy, and PEG tube, he needs intensive care nurses around the clock. And that is actually evidence-based. What do I mean by that? By going home, you're obviously improving the quality of life for your son, in these tragic circumstances, but he can't be confined to an ICU bed forever and forever. So in order to make this happen safely and sustainably, researchers have come up to what is safe and sustainable in the community. And when you look at our website at intensivecarehome.com, you will see that there's the evidence-based mechanical home ventilation guidelines that clearly recommend that only critical care nurses with a minimum of 2 years critical care nursing experience can safely look after patients at home on ventilation with tracheostomy, right? And that comes out of 25 years of intensive care at home nursing in Germany and intensive care at home nursing in Australia since 2013. If care is provided with anything less than those standards, people have died and continue to die, unfortunately, if those minimum quality standards are not maintained. Now, to come back to your son and how to make home care happen, right? So first of all, the funding needs to be arranged, but the good news is that someone is paying for the intensive care bed, which costs around $5,000 to $6,000 per bed day. With intensive care at home, we're slashing the cost of that bed by around 50%, right? By around, again, 50%, half of the cost. So that means someone is definitely interested in slashing the cost of an intensive care bed by 50%, right? And furthermore, the quality of life for your son will be improved big time. The quality of life for you and your family will be improved big time, because currently you're probably living, quote unquote, living in an ICU, in an intensive care unit, to be by your son's side, right? So by doing so, what we need to do next is organize the equipment, organize, potentially the layout in your home, but more is possible than you think at home. So, there might be some renovations needed in your home. Not sure about that. We would need to look at that. Once again, the funding bodies should be paying for all of that to make it, accessible for your son and also disability friendly. Then a team needs to be created that is the right team for you and your son, which is very important. You don't want to just work with anyone. You want to work with the right people, right? So that's what we're the experts in, selecting the right critical care nurses that can actually work in someone's home, right? So I hope that answers your questions. And one more very important thing, as a matter of fact, all of our clients without any exception, have community access. I'm sure that your son is looking forward to going home where he will have some community access. Our teams know how to make that happen. So I don't know what your son's interests are. If he, wants to go potentially even work with a computer, does he want to go back to uni, study? Does he want to go out with friends? Does he want to go and attend some sporting events? I don't know what your son's interests are, but anything is possible, really. So we see that with our clients on a day-by-day basis, which is a really good thing. So with intensive care at home, we're providing 24-hour critical care nurses at home, and therefore we are providing a genuine alternative to a long-term stay in intensive care for ventilation, tracheostomy, home BiPAP, home CPAP ventilation without tracheostomy, tracheostomy without ventilation, home TPN, home IV potassium infusions, and home IV magnesium infusions. We're also providing palliative care at home. We're also providing ventilation weaning at home, which is the case in other situations as well. There's also organizations out there who do chest x-rays at home, right? We're working with these providers as well. We're also providing central line management, peak line management, as well as Hickman's line management. We're also providing nasogastric tube management and PEG tube management at home. We're also sending our critical care nurses into the home for emergency department bypass services, and we have done so successfully as part of a program at the Western Sydney Local Area Health District, their In Touch program, saving approximately $2,000 per patient that we keep at home instead of going to the emergency department. We're also therefore in a position to cut the cost of an intensive care bed by around 50%. An intensive care bed costs around $5,000 to $6,000 per bed day. Our service costs between $2,500 and $3,000 per bed day. And we're freeing up an ICU bed, and we're improving the quality of life for patients and their families. So it's a win-win situation for all stakeholders. With intensive care at home, we are currently operating all around Australia in all major capital cities, as well as in all regional and rural areas. We are an NDIS approved service provider all around Australia, TAC and WorkSafe in Victoria, iCare in New South Wales, NIISQ in Queensland, as well as the Department of Veteran Affairs, the DVA, all around Australia. Our clients and we as a provider have also received funding for public hospitals, private health funds, as well as departments of health. We are the only service provider in Australia that has achieved third-party accreditation for intensive care at home nursing in 2024. We have been achieving this level of accreditation since 2012. No other provider has achieved this high level of accreditation in the community and has created more intellectual property for intensive care at home than we have, and that puts us in a position to employ hundreds of years of critical care nursing experience combined in the community. No other service provider in 2024 employs a higher skill level in the community than we do, which enables us to look after the highest security adults and children in the community in Australia safely. No other provider in Australia can take on a higher acuity level in the community safely than we can. And if you're at home already and you're watching this and you realize that you don't have the right level of support, I will give you a tangible example today. One of our first clients over 10 years ago was a client who was at home on a ventilator with a tracheostomy with a support worker model 24/7. Of course, support workers cannot keep a patient at home on a ventilator with a tracheostomy. That's like flying the airplane with the cabin crew instead of the pilot. Because this client was at very high risk of dying and he was going in and out of ICU because support workers simply do not have the skills, the experience, knowledge, or professionalism how to look after a ventilator and the tracheostomy client. This is an intensive care nursing skill and critical care nursing skill only. It's not even the skill of a general registered nurse. Eventually, this client found out about us. We were proving our concept with this client very fast, and we worked with the client and we sent him intensive care nurses 24 hours a day. He never ever went back into ICU ever again, and he was safe. We can do the same for you if you're not safe at home, which includes the advocacy that goes along with it to get the relevant funding. We have always successfully advocated for our clients. Otherwise, we would not be in business. This is also why we're providing level 2 and level 3 NDI support coordination. We have a team of NDI support coordinators, and they have a wealth of knowledge I have done an interview with Amanda Riches, our NDI support coordinator, and I have put a link to an interview in the written version of this blog below the video. We're also providing TAC case management and WorkSafe case management in Victoria. And if you are an NDI support coordinator or a case manager from another organization watching this, and you're looking for nursing care for your participants, please reach out to us as well. If you're looking for funding for nursing care for your participants and you don't know how to go about it and what evidence to provide, I encourage you to reach out to us as well. We can help you with the right level of funding and with the right level of advocacy. We also provide NDI specialist nursing assessments done by critical care nurses with a legal nurse consulting background. And if you are a critical care nurse and you're looking for a career change, we're currently hiring for jobs for critical care nurses in the home in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, in Albury, Wodonga, in Bendigo, in Geelong, and in Warragul, in Victoria. If you have worked in critical care nursing for a minimum of 2 years, pediatric ICU, ED, and you have already completed a postgraduate critical care nursing qualification, we will be delighted hearing from you. I have a disclaimer though, because we are offering a tailor-made solution for our clients, which includes regular staff. Our clients do want the same staff coming over and over again because they are so vulnerable and so special. And that's why we need regular staff. So if you are looking for agency work where you can come and go, this is not the right fit for you. We're looking for consistency and our clients are looking for consistency. So please only apply with us if you can give us regular and consistent availabilities for shifts and you're really keen on building relationships with us and with our clients, otherwise it's not going to work. And if you're an intensive care specialist or an ED specialist, we also want to hear from you. We're currently expanding our medical team as well. We can also help you eliminate your bed blocks in ICU and ED for your long-term patients or for your regularly readmitting patients with our critical care nursing team at home. We're here to help you to take the pressure off your ICU and ED beds. In most cases, you won't even pay for it. Even if you do pay for it, it's much more cost-effective than what you're paying for in ICU and ED. And if you're a hospital executive watching this and you have bed blocks in your ICU, ED, respiratory wards, etc., please reach out to us as well. We can help you there fast. And if you're in the US or in the UK and you're watching this and you need help, we want to hear from you as well. We can help you there privately. Once again, our website is intensivecareathome.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website or send us an email to info@intensivecareathome.com. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates for families with intensive care at home and intensive care. Click the like button, click the notification bell, share this video with your friends and families, and leave your comments below. What do you want to see next? What do you think about today's topic and what insights you have from this video? Thank you so much for watching.